Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Deep Space Travel Break, the #1 No Man's Sky podcast on YouTube. Trust me, don't look that up. Brought to you by the most patient people on the planet, this channel's valued members. For those of you who didn't notice, I've been absent for a while. I've been busy as a bee raised by beavers. But I'm back. For real this time. That's part of what today's episode is about. But I mostly want to talk about Hello Games, Summer Games Fest, and what it could mean for both No Man's Sky and Light No Fire. In other words, it's time for some summer speculation. I also want to highlight Anomaly, the unofficial No Man's Sky zine, which I've been enjoying. So, I'm Kanaju, and this is a jam-packed episode 38 of the Deep Space Travel Break. Thanks for listening. Before I get to the No Man's Sky and Light No Fire stuff, I'd like to take a few seconds to address the elephant in the room, which is my recent lack of content. For those unaware, last year I began working full-time as a university instructor. It's my first physical full-time job since 2019, so believe me when I say I was not prepared for how little extra time I would have. I don't like to half-ass things, and I took teaching very seriously. Unfortunately, that meant my channel has been on some kind of zombie hiatus since last August. I was able to publish a few podcast episodes and update reactions, but I haven't been able to produce the scripted video essays I'm usually known for. Just look at last week's list video. That was the first one in over 9 months, which is insane. But luckily, my channel didn't atrophy during the school year, and it has somehow continued to grow, just at a slower pace. So, I'm grateful to everyone who kept it afloat in my absence. I apologize for my absence. I've always said that I just make the videos and y'all make them successful, so thank you. Now that my school year's over and I'm free for the summer, I plan to publish regularly, just like I used to. I'll talk more about those plans at the end of the episode for those interested, but for right now, I want to say thank you for your patience, and let's get to the topic of the show, Summer Game Fest. Expedition 18 Relics ended on May 7th, which has a lot of folks wondering what's next for No Man's Sky. Oftentimes, the end of an expedition marks the beginning of something else, either another expedition or a content update or something of that sort. It's clear that through all of their free updates, Hello Games have definitely spoiled us to the point that a 2-week gap in content is cause for speculation. Back in my day, Hello Games would go months without updates. It was a year between Atlas Rises and the next update, believe it or not. Nowadays, I've actually seen people declaring the game dead if we go a month without new content. I kid you not, it's really frustrating. Crazy how great we have it these days, huh? So, at time of recording, it's Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. I don't think we're getting any announcements this week. However, next week seems interesting for a number of reasons. Firstly, the game is on sale again. Thanks to that Bomber Boy on Twitter, we can see that the game's discounted on Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation storefronts. Sales typically accompany content updates and announcements, so these being on sale next week is a good sign. Secondly, we have Summer Game Fest's big show next Friday, June 6th. This game showcase is typically jam-packed with game announcements and trailers. It's organized and hosted by Jeff Keighley, the man behind the Game Awards. Hello Games have a long history of collaborating with Jeff. They announced No Man's Sky at Spike's VGX in 2013. They announced The Last Campfire at the 2018 Game Awards, which I was lucky enough to attend. It was super cool. They announced Light No Fire and teased the next No Man's Sky update at the Game Awards in 2023. And then last year, they were present to announce that they're publishing Stage Fright by Ghost Town Games. So it's fair to say that Jeff has their number, or vice versa, I suppose. I'll come back to Summer Game Fest in a second, but I want to quickly mention the third factor, or fourth if you count the end of Expedition 18 being a factor. So fourthly, Nintendo Switch 2 launches next week, June 5th. No Man's Sky is famous for its multi-platform support. You can play on PC, PS4, PS5, the Xboxes, Mac, Steam Deck, and more. Notably, you can also play on Nintendo Switch. Of course, No Man's Sky is also famous for their free technical upgrades. I can play my original Day 1 PS4 copy of the game on PS5 with all the shiny new updates, free of charge. So, with the new console launching next week, especially such a high-profile one, I wouldn't be surprised to see an announcement from Hello Games next week about either a new Switch 2 release or simply a Switch 2 upgrade of some kind. So, put together, we're at a point where there's no expedition currently running, The game is on sale. Summer Game Fest is next week, and the Nintendo Switch 2 release is next week. Now, I could be completely wrong, as I occasionally am, but it does seem possible that we'll hear something from Hello Games next week. Notice, I say from Hello Games and not from No Man's Sky. You see, Hello Games has a lot cooking at the moment. I see 3 main possibilities. Option 1, a No Man's Sky announcement. It could be Switch 2 support, it could be a teaser for their big summer update, as they sometimes tease their big updates. It could be an expedition, it could be cross-save support, it could be merch announcement. Honestly, I'm keeping my expectations in check. I think a Switch 2 support announcement is most likely, but even that's not guaranteed, because remember, they haven't announced that they're actually going to be there or anything. This is all speculation. Option 2, a Light No Fire trailer or announcement. We still don't have a release year for Light No Fire. Not even just a release date, a release year. We haven't seen any new gameplay since its reveal in December 2023. So I think it's fair to say it's very possible they might reveal new details at the showcase and maybe announce it for Switch 2 even. I say very possible, but that's not necessarily very likely. We have no real precedent for Light No Fire news, so it's honestly a toss-up. I, of course, would love to see a release date announcement, but knowing Hello Games, it's possible they'd save that for closer to release, right? They don't like to push things back nowadays. It would be really neat just to see new gameplay or a new trailer, though, honestly. And then option 3, Stage Fright. It was announced in December, being published by Hello Games, so they might promote that game as well. Not much to say on that topic. I think all 3 of these options are possible. Personally, I'm thinking it'll be No Man's Sky, but Light No Fire would also make plenty of sense. What do y'all think? Also, while we're on this topic, there was a supposed leak that folks have been talking about that I saw. There's a document titled Summer Game Fest 2025 Partners Leaked, with a list of names that includes Hello Games, right? Now, not only does this list have absolutely no source, anyone could have just written it and uploaded it and just called it, 2025 Partners Leaked. But on top of that, it doesn't correspond or line up with the list that Summer Game Fest just released today on their official Twitter account. So I think it's BS. Most people thought it was BS too, but just in case you heard someone refer to it as any kind of credible source or credible leak, I just want to say I wouldn't trust it. Keep your expectations in check, right? Hello Games may very well appear, right? Just because they're not on the Summer Game Fest graphic doesn't mean they're not going to be there. But it does mean they aren't confirmed at time of recording. So I'd like to hear y'all's theories in the comments below. Hello Games often release quality of life focused updates around the release of other consoles. We saw this with the PSVR 2 and the Fractal update, or the PS5 and the next generation update. Even the Switch update, right, to a certain extent. But that said, the next update did release alongside the Xbox One back in 2018, so I guess you never know. Like I said, we've been seriously spoiled these past few years, so I'll take anything. I'm just looking forward to the show as usual. Our next topic is a fan project that I'm a fan of. It's Anomaly, the unofficial No Man's Sky zine. Unofficial. This free digital fan publication covers all kinds of No Man's Sky topics, from interviews with content creators to community screenshots, articles about the game, mods, games you can play in there, coloring pages, all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of fun, honestly. The project is organized by Tom Acreon. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Its amazing covers are illustrated by an artist named Vess. Now, full disclosure, I was the featured interview in issue 2, and I apologize to Tom for not announcing it on my channel. I wasn't really active at the time, as I think it's reflected in the interview. But this spotlight isn't sponsored or anything, y'all. It's a free publication. So I just thought I would shout it out because I think it's really good work. Side note, I'm also very happy to have been featured in the green issue, because I don't know if y'all know, but green's my favorite color. So yeah, that worked out nicely. Tom's currently cooking up issue 4. He's teased it on Twitter. But the first 3 issues are available to download completely for free from nomanszine.com. I'll put a link in the description. Give it a look-see if you're interested. Thanks to Tom for putting it together and for asking to interview me. I was genuinely flattered. So Thank you. All right. Our final topic of this episode is the channel itself. What are my actual plans, you might be wondering? Well, first off, I plan to release weekly videos once again. Last week, we had a list video. This week, you're getting this Deep Space Travel Break episode, and I'm already working on next week's video essay. I'm excited to be working on more involved videos again, stuff with higher production value that require more time. So that said, you can still expect live streams and reaction videos for new updates and expeditions, right? So if we get an announcement next week, I might make an additional video, or if an update releases, I'll probably produce content day of. So that's in addition to what I plan to do weekly. So in other words, we are so back. I know you might be wondering what happens at the end of the summer though, right? Since all this is occurring because I'm on summer break and I go back to work at the end of August, right? So that's a fair question. I am hoping that I will be able to maintain a bi-weekly upload schedule during the semester. Because you see, this first year was really tough. I was having to learn how to teach and organize and advise students while simultaneously teaching, right? And grading and doing all the things I would have to do normally. This next semester, I actually have a game plan for, right? And it should help me with my work-life balance. He said naively. But honestly, I only have 2 preps this semester. Last time I had 5 separate classes. And this time I have 4, but it's only 2 preps. So it's going to be a lot simpler, I think, to handle. I have more experience. I sort of know where I can improve and make things more efficient. So hopefully it'll be more manageable. And I'm really trying to avoid any more months-long gaps in content going forward, right? I was really bad this past year, but I mean, I couldn't make it work at the time, but I'm going in with a plan this time. So there may be an interruption in content at some point this summer, as I'll be on vacation. But other than that, I think you can reasonably expect a regular content upload schedule. So it's good to be back. Thank you everyone for your patience and ongoing support. I'll be honest with y'all, I'm hoping to reach 50,000 subscribers this year. So I have a lot of catching up to do, a lot of work to do to earn that, but hopefully I can make it up to y'all. Feel free to leave video suggestions in the comments below, although I will say I already have plenty of ideas that I've had for months and I'm excited about, including my often requested Assassin's Creed Shadows cities video, top 10 cities in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've been getting requests in the comments for that, and I'm still working on beating the game. That's my problem. I will say it's a video that's been very top of my mind, so hopefully you'll join me for that, and of course everything else I'm cooking up. One other thing I want to mention is my April Fool's Day video, the fake leaked DuuGek announcement trailer. Some folks have been saying it was a lot of work, like all that artwork for just a prank video, and I would agree, which is why I should tell you that I did not create all that artwork for just some prank video. I actually designed DuuGek last summer before the semester started, and I had begun playtesting. But as soon as the semester started, I ended up running out of free time, and it's sort of been on somewhat of a hiatus as well. I've been working on new graphics throughout the semester, but other than that, I haven't really worked on it much. So I hope to complete an updated prototype over this summer, and hopefully I can share that with y'all. So thank you for your patience. I'm not promising anything because I have a lot of other things planned, but I would love to get DuuGek off the ground this summer. So with that, we come to the end of episode 38 of the Deep Space Travel Break. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel now that you know the plan. With me just getting the ball rolling again, any and all support is helpful and appreciated. Thank you especially, special thanks to my valued members of the channel. If you're interested in joining or supporting me at that level, it's 99 cents a month. But if you'd rather save your dollar, no hard feelings. I understand. I'm glad to be back either way. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Adios.